Here we have another favourite product of mine. It's from Equine Products UK. It's the Transvite XL. As we all know, horses that we have here competing are often under high stress. A lot of travelling, a lot of training, competing, unnatural atmospheres. This helps create the best environment in their guts for them to digest and get the best out of all the food that we're feeding to them. I really believe in this product, and I think it's very important for horses under stress to be on some sort of a probiotic. This is another favourite of mine that Equine Products stock. It's called the Tiger's Tongue Horse Groomer. They're brilliant because they're like a cross between a sponge and a brush. I use them for absolutely everything. So I use them instead of a sponge when I'm bathing horses because they're quite rough. They really get into the coat better than a sponge would, but they don't scratch them like a brush would. And especially at this time of the year when there's lots of mud fever and that type of thing going on, we don't want to be breaking the skin surface. I also use them as a brush, just dry on their own before I get on a horse, so I just give them a quick flick over with this. I also use them if I've given a horse a workout and it's not sweating enough to need a bath. Again, I try not to bath them as much as possible because there's lots of mud fever about, patent dermatitis or sore heels, rashes, anything like that. It gets worse the wetter you get the horse. So a lot of the time I'll run some hot water, a bit of detergent in there, whatever you want to use, something that can be left on the horse's skin. And I just give them sort of, it's called a hot cloth, but this isn't a hot cloth obviously because I'm not using a cloth, but just give them a wipe over with this, leave them out to dry or put a sweat rug on them and they'll be dry in no time, which is great for the cold winter weather. So this is Dodson & Horrell Fibre Fusion. It's one of my favourite products at the moment actually, because I use it in conjunction with other hard feeds for my top horses that I struggle to keep weight on. As you know, they have to work very hard, they have to do a lot of travelling, so sometimes it can be a struggle for me. It's so great for them because it's a chaff-based feed, but as you can see, it's got lots of nuts in as well. So on its own, it is a complete feed, but I use it as extra for my horses, and it's ultra high in oil, which is such a great energy source. Without heating the horses and without overloading the system with starch. So yeah, real favourite product of mine. And it's also very, very useful for our horses at home. At the moment we've got Storm Dennis with us. When the horses can't have as much work as usual, I'll switch them down to just this feed, and it supports everything they need without risk of overloading the systems and them tying up. So yeah, real favourite product of mine, and it's really palatable as well. They seem to love it. See, throughout the grid, I use these like half-round rails. I use them as V-poles and as tram lines at the end, just to really promote straightness all the time. Sometimes the more you, without the help of these, the more you try and correct the horses, the worse it makes them, the more crooked it makes them. So I'm a massive fan of using these. As you can see, they're really light, and if the horses tread on them, they're quite inoffensive. So yeah, real favourite of mine.